chicken thigh, and we're just using generic thighs. These are Foster Farms from Costco, so we can do the test. I'll just do a simple trim. I'm gonna cover the chicken trim in a separate video. We're gonna show you all the different ways to trim chicken, but this module is specifically to address the 3 questions: scrape, no scrape, Jaccard, no Jaccard, and transglutamase, meat glue or no meat glue. So we just trim the chicken up into a square, like so. Stretch the skin over, flip it over, create a little rectangle pillow, and get some of the excess meat off so we can get a rectangular shape. And there's many methods to trim chicken, which I will cover in a different video. But for this module, we're just going to show you how we do testing on different techniques for preparing competition-style chicken. So this is good enough. So here's the chicken that has been trimmed. We're going to do a Jaccard on this one. So I'm going to pick up the Jaccard, and we're going to Jaccard right here. We're going to create more holes on the side where the judges bite, and a few less holes here. So what a Jaccard does is it has tiny little holes, tiny little spikes that create tiny little holes. So imagine a bounty towel. When you pull the bounty towel, it separates at a perforation. So when the judges bite into the chicken, because you Jaccarded the skin, it will perforate right there and create a bite through skin. Okay. On this side. Okay, so this is a chicken that's been Jaccarded. Now, if I want to scrape the skin, we'll show you how to scrape the skin. Flip it over here. And we run our knife like so. 6-inch boning knife is ideal. Some people use a fishing fillet knife, that also works. But what you want to try to do is you want to get these deep pockets of fat scraped off. So for teams that are trimming about, say, 16 to 24 pieces of chicken, this can be quite a chore. So you gotta make sure that you have a quiet, relaxed area where it's cool to do this. If you trim a lot of chicken, it takes a long time. I usually put the chicken under ice bath, but today it's a cool day in the house. It's about 70 degrees, so I'm not going to worry about that. So you can see the chicken is now translucent. Put it back here. So that will be a chicken with skin scrape. So we're going to go to the third option, which is putting some meat glue on chicken. So the meat glue from the packet has been put into a shaker bottle. We'll shake the meat glue on, rub it around. It's a little thin coating, will go a long way. So, drape the chicken over. There you have it. So this one is the control sample for where we do all 3 items. So that will be option number 8. You can see that full options are here. We're gonna start cooking the chicken now, and we'll do a taste test, and we'll have a couple of different opinions to present to you. Okay, so we have the 8 pieces of chicken prepared according to the testing table here, whether it's scrape, Jaccard, or meat glue. So here's the first sample. We're going to cook it in a foil pan to simulate a contest. So this one has sample 8, 7, and 5. This one has samples 4, 6, and 3, and then the control is 1, which is the no scrape, no Jaccard, and no meat glue. And then the number 2 sample is here with just the meat glue. So we're going to put this in the oven because we do a lot of testing at home instead of firing up the pit. So this will be a test to see if we can cook it properly with some butter once we reach the foiling phase. Alright, we have about 10 more minutes to our timer, and we're going to do a little check on the chicken, making sure that it's crusting up nicely. So you can see it's crusting up nicely, so we'll give it another 10 minutes to set. And all 8 control samples are going to be ready for the foiling phase with some butter. So chicken is ready. It's been about 50 minutes, and this is a test batch here. So you can see that the skin looks different. After cooking, we've got a nice crust on the skin. So here are all the samples coming off. Before we put the foil wrap on, I'm just going to put some butter, and I'm going to show you the technique we use. We put the butter on and we let it melt a little bit. We just get some of the butter glaze on the chicken. So at this point in time, it's very important that you have the crust already set. If you don't set the crust, then when you try to put the butter on, all that rub's going to fall off. So it's important to cook the chicken long enough for the chicken to kind of dry out and for the seasonings to fuse to the crust of the meat. And here you go. So it's gonna starting to melt now. You can see on the first pieces I put. So I'm gonna dab, just gently dab it. Put some of the butter on the chicken. Now some people use parquet, that's fine too. Some people use, I can't believe it's not butter, that's fine too. Some people spray the chicken. Some people decide they want to douse the whole chicken in the butter bath. There's many techniques, but this is the technique for the test. I'll cover the various techniques in a different video on the different methods of cooking chicken. But this is a test primarily to check for transglutamase scraping in Jaccard. Okay, so get a little wet with the butter here. So you notice how my crust is not falling off. That's about right here. And I'll just go around and try to wet the rest of BBQ control. They all have great color. I can see a different complexion on the chicken skin depending on whether it was transglutamase, whether it was scraped. I see some of the ones that we scraped the skin, it looks kind of very transparent, translucent. So I think in the final result, it'll be interesting to see once we sauce the chicken, whether you can tell which is which. And we'll put the foil on next. Let's make sure this one's okay. And last one. Okay, foil back on. And we'll foil it for approximately 15 minutes to an hour to get the skin to be tender, and we'll see how all the individual pieces come up. I should mention also very importantly, when you apply the transglutamase, you have to do it after meat inspection. You can trim, you can scrape the skin, you can Jaccard at home, but you cannot apply the transglutamase until your meat is inspected by the officials at the contest. Okay, we'll put it back in the oven. We're cooking at 275, so that's the consistent temperature that we use for competition. Okay, the chicken has come out of the foil phase, and it's about 205 degrees, so we're ready to let it cool. We'll do a quick sauce and do a quick taste test to see which one is the best combination: scrape, Jaccard, or transglutamase meat glue. Alright, the cooking is done, and we have all 8 samples on the table, and I've marked them with the corresponding combination, right? So the first one is a control, which no scrape, no Jaccard, and no meat glue. Second one, meat glue only. Third one is just Jaccard only. And then the next one is Jaccard and meat glue. The fifth one is scrape only. Skin scrape and meat glue, skin scrape and Jaccard. And number 8 is the all 3. We have the skin scrape, the Jaccard, and the meat glue. And it follows the original diagram I had shown you, and that was the cooking plan for today. Alright, we're going to eat the control sample. I have my esteemed fiance, Donna Fong of Butcher's Daughter Barbecue. She's a KCBS master judge, so she's reached the pinnacle of the judging discipline with 30 contests at least under her belt and taking a test and cook on a team. So she and I are both going to eat the control, follow all the way to the sample number 8. I am just a lowly certified judge, so I don't have the master credential. So you're going to hear the audio from 2 certified judge, 1 master and 1 regular judge. Donna, you go first.
The skin was tough and not bite through, but otherwise okay.
Okay chicken, you know, flavor is okay, moisture is there. It seems to have, you know, kind of like the competition chicken taste and look. But unfortunately failed on the skin, no good. So this is not scrape, no Jaccard, and no meat glue. So the skin basically came off with a bite. This would score, in my opinion, on a judging contest. Probably tenderness, I'll give a 6, honestly. I'll give a 6. 6 is not really good. So on a score on a KCBS scale from 1 through 9, 9 being excellent, 8 being very good, 7 being kind of average, 6 being below average. I would give this kind of below average. I'm a kind of lenient
So I
judge.
think that the skin is a 6, but I think the meat in general is tender.
Very tender, yeah. But the skin is usually the kind of killer, and meat is a 9, but skin is a
I think I'd go a little softer, maybe a 7.
7. Okay, so she goes with the tenderness of 7. I go with tenderness of 6. Let's move on to sample number 2, which is the one with just the meat glue, no scrape, no Jaccard.
Yeah, that's juicy.
Very good. So let's see here, the meat glue stuck on.
So the skin did stick on more.
Yeah, it didn't come off, see? Yeah, and I use very little, see? See, you can see that, I'm gonna pull it, see? It didn't come off. Very good.
I think that the skin is still a little rubbery, even though you can bite through it though.
Yeah, I can taste the kind of the fattiness in the skin. You know, some they just like it, some don't like it.
I will say that this one, the skin was very fatty.
Very fatty, yeah, no good, yeah. Okay, so meat
control,
glue.
for the control.
So meat glue, what would you give it in terms of the tenderness?
It's still a 7.
Still 7. Okay, I'll go up. I'll give this one a 6. I'll give this one a 7. Okay. So let's shift now to the one that's only the Jaccard, which was the device we used to poke holes in it. This was the device we used earlier, and you poke hole in it. So this number 7, the third sample is Jaccard only. Let's give it a shot.
The skin was falling off.
Texture, flavor the same, but sorry, no can do. Didn't work. Okay. So now let's go to sample number 4, which is both Jaccard and the meat glue. Now, what would you score number 3? Tenderness?
Still stuck in 7.
Still stuck in. Okay, I'll give it. Honestly, I'll give it a 6. I didn't quite like it. Okay, let's try number 4. Meat glue and Jaccard together. Much better.
The skin is much better, but the chicken thigh itself, the meat is very dry.
Okay, so let's not comment on the meat because this is the test on the skin. Okay, so my take is that much better. Bite through skin. The meat glue actually has no flavor. I'm quite surprised. I don't taste any hint of any aftertaste from the meat glue, right? And I just used enough just to coat it. Okay, so that was sample number 4. What do you give the rating?
This requires a second bite. I like the skin better, but I don't like the texture of the meat.
Okay, well, okay. So we're judging just the skin because the meat will be a 9. Okay, so I will give it an 8 and a 9, 8 or 9. Right? So depending on my mood that day, 8 or 9. So let's move on to just the scrape alone. And this is no meat glue and no Jaccard, so just the scrape alone. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so what's your rating on the scrape? You like it?
That's a higher 9.
A higher 9. Okay, so I give it a 9. So scrape is good. So scrape's working. So let's move on to the additional scrape and meat glue. Sample number 6. The meat glue is holding on. See, I'm pulling the skin, not coming off. This one, you see, if you see this one, this is number 5, and you can see skin's coming off. So meat glue is better. See, like that. So it's holding on better. Definitely a 9. I'll give it 9.
Yeah.
Alright, 9. So we're unanimous. So one master judge, one certified judge, giving the
Tenderness
9.
of the skin.
Tenderness of skin, again, this is a tenderness of skin test, not about the meat. We'll cover that in another video, how to get perfect skin, perfect meat. We're going to talk about brines, we'll talk about injections, a whole bunch of other stuff, but that's later in the next video. But this video is strictly to answer the question, Jaccard, scrape, or meat glue. Alright, let's go to sample 7. This one is the scrape and Jaccard, no meat glue.
It's a little bit loose.
A bit loose, skin is loose.
It's definitely not as loose. What a
See?
big difference.
See, look at that. This is the meat glue. See, look at that. I'm moving it, not moving. Just look at that. See, look at that. No. Okay, so I would still give this maybe 8.5, but it's still very good. So Jaccard and scrape works. Okay, so let's now move to sample number 8, which is the final sample where all 3 things are being done.
Slow down, Harry.
Slowing down. Okay, here we go. Getting full.
The skin is so thin when you scrape it that you almost can't appreciate it.
That's true.
Right?
It's missing fat.
It's missing some lusciousness to it.
Yeah, there's something to be said about fat underneath chicken skin. You know, actually it kind of, lubricates the chicken when you cook. This one's okay, but I kind of, I'm torn between the meat glue and then the non-scrape, right? So
the bottom ones all have scrape in them.
yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if I had to recap what we have done, now what would you score on number 8?
Oh, that's a 9. I'd give it
It's a 9. Okay. So this is a 9. This is a.
That was a 9.
I would say 8.
8.
I think this
9.
is a 9. This is a. I give it 7, 8. So okay. So we like the ones at the bottom of the page here, right? So I think that if you compete and you want to try scraping, meat glue, and Jaccard, they're all good ideas. So here's our informal test. Now, Is our preference going to result in you taking a chicken walk? The answer obviously is no. There are so many aspects to barbecue cooking. It's not just the skin. It's a whole host of other factors, including your dry brine, your wet brine, your marinades, your injection, your cook, your smoke, your thermal masses, your draft in your pit, the wood you choose, the pit temperature. There's a whole host of variables that go into creating competition chicken. I will be posting more episodes of all of the minute madness of perfection in cooking competition chicken. So please stay tuned to my channel. Subscribe please, and then let me know in your comment section what you like and what you dislike with the video, and we'll keep these videos coming. This is a series of many different chicken modules I'm going to be doing, plus other modules I'm going to be doing on all the other competition meat. Alright, postscript. So while off camera, we had a little argument over which one to use in the next competition. So my fiance Donna, Butcher's Daughter Barbecue, is cooking next weekend, so she's going to be cooking chicken, and we were debating on what formula to use. So she has some specific thoughts. She's a scientist by training. She's a DNA molecular biologist, so I'm going to let her talk about why she thinks sample number 4 is promising, but yet not promising. Go ahead, Donna.
So I was curious what number 4 would taste like because it has Jaccard and meat glue, but no scraping, because I still wanted the fluffiness of the fat. And so when I bit through, I realized that the skin was not adhering at all. And the reason is because meat glue binds amino acids together. It binds protein to protein. And what you have is you're trying to bind the skin, which is mostly fat, to the meat, which is protein. And since it's mostly fat, the meat glue isn't able to function as well as in the case when we scrape off the fat, then the meat glue is able to work better.
Okay, so you are tending towards option 6, right? Which is scrape meat glue, which is a winning technique.
Yeah, that
Right,
seems
so
to be the
scrape-
best.
The best technique. And then the Jaccard was kind of meh, right? So a Jaccard is about, what, $25 over one of these puppies here? So,
That was the best one on Amazon.
so what do you think, yes or no? Jaccard? Up, thumbs up, thumbs down?
I'm definitely doing Jaccard.
You did Jaccard. Okay,
But
so...
I'm doing it very thoroughly.
All right, so
Yeah.
Donna is a retentive madness of perfection person, so I think she's going to go option 8.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so she's going to go option 8. So I'll think about all these 8 different techniques, and in my next contest, I'll share it on my vlog, what I'm going to do. But hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you like it, subscribe to the channel. Like our videos and share with your friends. I mean, we want to share this knowledge with all the barbecue pitmasters out there in America. If you're a backyarder, hey, no problem, man. This information is gold to you. You can create great technique, great tips here. You can also buy meat glue. Meat glue is not very expensive. It's about $6 an ounce. An ounce goes a long, long way. We just sprinkle probably maybe about a quarter teaspoon on each one at most, and you held the meat together. So here's to 8 different samples and our test.